Hello, hello, hello. My name is Daniel Parent, and this is my very first video lesson that I'm putting out. And it is the best lesson that I can think of to open up with. And it is about safety play. I know you saw some of the intro clips, some of the safety ideas. Well, what if you could do a system that was repeatable, that was trackable, and something that you could do time after time after time with a little bit of understanding of how this system works. Now, of course, we all know what a safety is, and we have a general idea of how to perform safeties. You pick a location for either the target ball, the object ball, the cue ball, or both, and you send them to a particular location, and hopefully snooker your opponent to where they can't see it. Now, we can all guess and speculate on the right path to go and the right way to get there, but I have a system that is top-notch. And without spending too much time boosting my ego, I'm going to go ahead and get into this lesson. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is a carom system. This is the entire basis of the safety system. It's also very helpful. Again, just by itself as a carom, it's very helpful by itself. So let's get into this. To get an understanding for how this system works, you must first learn a carom system. And once I show you this, some of you may not even need the rest of this lesson to understand how to play these as a safety. So, how many of you have been playing 9-ball and you have a shot? It could be like this, it could be more difficult, it doesn't matter. But if I have a shot like this and you want to make the 9-ball. Well, I can tell you that if you do this system, you will make that 100% of the time if you do the system that I'm about to show you. Now, there are only two ways to address a ball. And this is the same thing that's going to transfer to a safety system, so pay attention. And when I show you how easy this is, you might be mad that you don't already know this. So, to start off, the only way to do a safety is to be able to predict a line that it is traveling on. And how do you predict a line that it's traveling on? Well, first of all, it's easy. I'll show you. So say you want to contact this 9-ball right here. It's as simple as this. Draw a line from where you want to contact this ball and go, as you address that ball, directly through the middle of the ball that you're coming off of as a carom. Now you're going to shoot at that contact point with a stun shot, meaning no side spin, no backspin, just a sliding cue ball. You're aiming the center of this cue ball at that spot with stun and letting it drift over. And if you can see from there, if you pay attention, that gives you the exact carom angle. Instead of making it difficult and having to come up here and line it up like this or whatever, literally just draw a line from where you want to go through the middle of this ball, and shoot the center of your shaft, the center of your cue ball at that spot with the stun shot. Okay, and it will follow the tangent line exactly. So that is step number one. Now that is, granted, if you can hit the side of the ball. And what I mean by that is some shots you can't get there because there's no natural tangent line to that spot. As long as there's a natural tangent line, and my rule is about 90 degrees to about 100 degrees, something like that. Maybe 105, I'm not sure exactly, but as long as you have a natural carom angle, this system will work. But what happens if you don't have a natural carom angle and you have to go through the object ball? Well, it's just as easy. Say we're here, you want to go through this ball and contact the 10, make the 10 ball. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't shoot a safety, but that's not the point, or a combo, but that's not the point. It's the same story. Figure out where you want to contact this ball, draw a line from there through the middle of this ball, and aim the cue at the back part of that ball with high English. High is going to help you carry on through that ball and get to your target. Now, you may have to mess with that some, but again, you can make this shot 100 out of 100 times if you know what you're doing. There I want to go. I draw a line from there through the middle of the ball. I use a sun shot at that contact point, and 100% of the time you can make that ball. So how do we use this as a safety? It's very simple. Say you want to go and put the cue ball on top of this ball here. Okay? You draw a line from where you want to go. Draw a line through the middle of the ball. And from here, we're going to use high English to get there. Now, granted, don't pay attention to the 7 ball. The 7 ball is not going to go where you want it to go. But the cue ball will end up exactly on the line that you pick. So, as long as there is a direct path to that location, you will be able to play safe from there. How many times have you had a shot like this where you needed to play safe and couldn't figure out how exactly to get there? Well, I'm going to show you. Again, draw a line from where you want to go through the middle of that ball and determine whether you're in that 90 to 110 degree range. Not quite. So we're going to go with high English here at that contact point on the back of the ball and just roll into a safety position. Okay. This will work infinitely no matter what. Again, I want to go here. So I'm going to draw a line from there. I'm going to roll into position, contact the point that I'm looking at on the back of the ball. And 100% of the time you can get there. So what happens if you need to go multiple rails or something like that? I will show you on the next one. Okay, I have a slight disclaimer here. The disclaimer is that I cannot possibly predict what type of shots that you will come into. All I can do is give you a guideline for how to handle those situations when they come up. So I'm going to give you a couple scenarios and hopefully you get the idea of how this works and can apply that in any given situation that comes up on the pool table and learn how to adapt and things like that. This is just a beginning guide to safety play, but it's actually really advanced. It's a beginning guide to what I know. It's a really advanced system for those of you who don't know how to play a consistent safety. So let's get started. This is one of my favorite safeties. It's just simple. Okay. We're going to give ourselves a big target area to practice getting into, and then you can start dialing them into smaller target areas. So I know what you're thinking. No problem. 100% of the time, if I shoot this, I can get down there. Oh, maybe not though. Okay, well it doesn't matter. This time I can get down there because I know what I'm doing. Okay, well maybe not. This is a joke. But this is most people. When I set this up for people here in the city, in Oklahoma City where I live, they all tell me the same thing. Oh, I can get there. This isn't the point. I understand that most people can get there, but what happens if the object ball is here and the cue ball is here? Can you still get here? Okay, maybe you can and maybe you can't, but I can show you a way that you can get closer to getting there with precision, with little to no effort. Okay, but let's start here. So what I want to do, I want to come here, I want to hide roughly behind the 8 ball. Let me say this, specifically behind the 8 ball. So we're going to start here. The first thing you have to do is just pick a line. It doesn't matter what line you want to come into this 8 ball. Could be this way, could be this way, could be this way, but that doesn't work, and I'll explain why here shortly. First things first, draw a line. I want to come into the ball right around this area, okay? So you want to take from this line and use the rail as a pivot point. Angle in equals the angle out. Okay, see that? And here's the cool thing. No matter where the cue contacts the rail here, doesn't matter if it's here, if it's up here, if it's down here, this is where I'm at. It doesn't matter where it's at. You take a line from there through the middle of the cue ball as you're addressing it here or whatever it might be. In this case, it's here. And that becomes your target. Now, this is my aim point. Okay? I shoot the cue ball directly at that spot, middle cue ball to this point, and basically high English to start. But since you are contacting a rail and coming slightly backwards, we're going to add just a touch of helping English, which is left English. Or we can maybe try to roll it with center ball with no high and see what that does. You see how it got there, but it didn't necessarily travel the path that you wanted to. You didn't go the 2 rails that you wanted to. So, for instance, if you were trying to do this and these balls weren't here, and you just laid up here, the safety's no good. You needed to come into the backside of this for it to be an effective safety. So, we're going to try this shot again. Going to add just a touch of left spin here because we are running off another rail. Okay? So I'm going to come into the 8 ball here, or say here. Angle in equals the angle out. See, I contact the rail here, draw a line from this point through the middle of the ball. That becomes my target. So I shoot at this point with just a touch of left spin. Okay. And see how I came off the back rail, hit a little firm. I came off the back rail, and had I had the speed right, I would have been froze to the back of the ball. Let me shoot this again. And you can pick any one of these balls to go to. So say I want to come to the 7 ball. It doesn't matter. Okay? I want to come into the 7 ball this way. I don't think this is going to be an effective safety, but just to prove that you can get there, angle in equals the angle out. Okay? Now from here, draw a line from there through the middle of the ball. That becomes my target area. Okay. Ineffective. I'm going to set this up again. Now, draw a line again from where you want to go. Now, here's what I meant by you can almost pick any line you want to come into. The only caveat here is that if the return angle to here, the second angle, if it is higher than the middle of this ball, then it's no good, it won't work. So say you want to come into the back of this 8 ball like this, but your return angle says you're way up here to the rail, it won't work. If you're here and the return angle says this is where you want to contact, it's above middle of the ball, it won't work. So you have to pick an angle that stays below the middle of this ball that you're coming off of. So there, pivot, angle out, draw a line from there to the middle of the ball. And again, there's your contact point. A little bit of helping left English. And again, every system that you ever come across, whether it be aiming or safety play or carom play, will always have some feel involved with it. Now, these are just some guidelines to get started. Okay, let's try another example. You've got this group of balls here. You want to tuck behind there somewhere, whatever. Simple as this. Draw a line from where you want to go. Say you want to go into the 8 ball again here. We're going to pick a line, okay, here, angle in, equals the angle out, and the system breaks down. We can't get there. Okay, let's try again. Here, we've got an angle in, it's an angle out. Okay, now that will work. That will work because I'm hitting the ball and coming off the side of the ball. So now, this becomes my target. I aim at that spot on the ball. And now, since I am within the 90 to 110 degree mark, I'm going to have to step to position. So I aim at that spot, jack up a little bit, smooth stroke. Moving on.
It's Kelpie Vibes.
Yeah. Baby, you know that I'm in a choco. Baby, you know that I'm in a choco. Baby, you know that I'm in a choco. Angelina, you the cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver. I no go fall in your hand never. So now me you could love forever. I'm a cocky no feeble letter. I'm a Angelina, with my Angelina.